What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon and a new little trailer that came out. Well, I guess a teaser, whatever you want to call it, but some new stuff, some new footage. We'll break it down for you. Obviously, spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead and the Daryl Dixon show. So as we can see, Daryl has his motorcycle here. He's got a crossbow and some bolts, and he's looking like the Daryl of old. Well, we get to meet this guy. I don't know who he is, but he says, you hear that? That's Paris crying. So he's probably someone that's going to help Daryl. Daryl's going to need a lot of help because he's a fish out of water, literally. But we see Isabel before she's a nun, and she's at a train station underground. And I'm guessing this is the start of the zombie apocalypse here, where she sees walkers attacking people on the train. And she's definitely not in a nun attire. So I'm guessing we get to see her story before everything, which is kind of cool. And I know a lot of people are excited about this actress, so I don't really know much about her. But you see people on the train. It goes fast. It goes by really fast. So I'm guessing it's walkers and people freaking out and attacking each other and, biting people. And that's just how it goes down, the craziness on the train. And it's cool to see different parts of the zombie apocalypse, because I've always been a proponent of, where does the zombie apocalypse start for this person, that person, in this country? Where does it actually start for them, at what time, and everything there? Paris may be dead is what's written right there. There's a bunch of different words throughout the trailer, and you see a bunch of walkers here. I still don't know how there are so many left. I don't know what year it is in the zombie apocalypse, but there's still tons of them. Cadron asks about the American. We know that he's going to be the villain to go against Daryl, and I wonder if he survives into season 2, but probably not. But we'll see what it goes on for Daryl. So it looks like Daryl is going to be working with the nuns and the kids and the powers that be there to protect himself and save himself. But he says here, we tried it your way, now we're going to try it mine. So he was probably trying to be a nice guy, and Cadron killed some people or did whatever, and it's not working out. So Daryl's like, all right, time to be a tough guy. I'm guessing these are kids that actually capture Daryl, because Daryl's going to be, captured. When in doubt, capture Daryl, and when in doubt, give it to Daryl. But they just look like kids wearing gas masks, and it just kind of looks like Lord of the Flies kind of thing. Isabel is looking up, and I'm guessing this is when the walkers are falling out of the buildings. CGI looks pretty good. And we see Daryl. There's a photo going around many, many months ago, but Daryl's here on his knees, and he probably had a blindfold on his face or whatever. But you see, this is probably the kids that captured Daryl after Daryl is wounded. He comes across a fake blind man and a woman, and he gets shot. But walkers are falling out of the windows. You can see right above where it says September, right, the SEP, there's a walker right there falling out of the window. And I'm guessing that's what Isabel is seeing. So we're going to see the start of the apocalypse. And if you want to do clickbait, you can be like, is this Morgan? Morgan shows up, right? So be careful of what you see with these photos. It probably looks like Sylvie, I think her name is, or Sylvia. She's another nun with Isabel. But believe in him, believe in Daryl. Well, it says believe in him. But we see Daryl walking around in the sneak peeks, so it's nothing new here, but he's walking and walking and walking. Cadron knows that he has to go after Daryl because of his boss, Jeanette, I believe her name is, or Jeanette. I don't know how you want to say it because they're French, like he's Cadron, but it's Cadron, and Laurent is Laurent. But we're going to see walkers looking at Daryl. And not every walker looks like the burners. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's going to be new walkers here that have like acid in their bodies. But Daryl has I don't know what this is, a flintlock pistol? What is that? But Daryl's got guns to be taking out probably some of Cadron's people, and I'm guessing they are dead nuns behind Daryl there in the gravel. Daryl's not messing around, taking out some walkers, and I wonder if we're going to see more variants, or is it just going to be the new burners? Again, the burners have the acid in their bodies that they grab you and they burn you. So Daryl is captured here. You see that he's in the middle of some sort of arena or prison or fighting pit, where people are standing all around him on the elevated platform. Daryl also has a motorcycle. So it's interesting because this has to be, I'm guessing, how it ends or around the ending of the season. It's going to be 6 episodes. He has a crossbow. He's got a motorcycle. I don't know how they're powering that. What's the fuel situation there? Do we have ethanol? Do we have some other fuel source, some biodiesel or something, right? I mean, in other shots, we see them with a horse and carriage, horse and buggy, and now Daryl has a motorcycle here. This girl asks Daryl, how'd you get here? And he says it's a long story. So I hope it's explained. I hope it's one of those things where we want to know how Daryl got here and they explain it. Don't beat around the bush and don't leave out crucial things like it's a bunch of bad decisions or it's complicated or I really want to tell you about it, but I can't or not going to tell you about it right now, maybe next season. Because a lot of people want to know how did he get to France? Because he's got a motorcycle here and a crossbow looking like old Daryl. He's got the crossbow right here, or one of the crossbows that he's going to use. They have all these weapons in the convent. And so the nuns, or killer nuns, he jokes to Isabel, they have the bow and arrows. And this guy kind of looks like a walker next to Daryl, but it's probably a person that just is in rough shape. But Daryl comes to France this way, on an overturned boat by himself. So we know he didn't drive there. He didn't get on his motorcycle and ride across the water to France. He's on this boat. And so a lot of people want to know how, why, when did he get here? A bunch of bad decisions is all we know. But is it CRM related? How did he get on a boat? Or did he find out about a possible location for Rick and it was a lie? Did people lie to him? Is it some sort of group that will be explained this season or next? Daryl comes out of the water and comes to the French countryside right here, and he shows up in France of all places. Now it connects with the first season of The Walking Dead and the CDC and the post-credits scene with The World Beyond, but other than that, there's not really many connections here because there's no person here that we connect with Daryl just yet. And the Walking Dead universe is pretty far-fetched. Like, Morgan can just leave Virginia and show up in Texas or come across our group of Fear the Walking Dead. But Daryl being in France is a whole other thing, right? It's just a whole other can of worms. It may be explained, it might not. It might be minimally explained, but overall, I just hope it works, and I hope the story is entertaining. I know Norman Reedus and Daryl can carry a show, but if you have a great actor and a character, and the story sucks, you know, I'm not a big fan of that. But Daryl being in his own show is pretty cool. We all know that Carol and Daryl were supposed to do a show together is the word, but Carol will show up next season. So will this be a one and done kind of story? Will it make sense for the greater scheme of the Walking Dead universe or season 2 of the Daryl Dixon Show? Will the Daryl Dixon Show have a new title because it's Daryl and Carol? Either way, let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below, and Daryl being Daryl. Like, share, subscribe. We truly appreciate all the love and support. We can't do without you guys. We can't stress that enough. I know I say it in all my videos, but it is a big shout out to my patrons, my members, my subscribers, and my moderators. We love you guys. Stay safe. And as always, tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys.